Gilles Gratton was from another planet. Like, I mean, he was the most bizarre person I've ever seen.
He used to drive coaches nuts.
Man, he had a different outlook of life, but maybe because he smoked a lot of different stuff over the years.
When talking about unique characters in the game of hockey, Gilles Gratton has to come up. Unlike your common guys such as Biz Nasty and BK Subban, the stories that come out about Gilles Gratton will blow your mind. But despite all the strange tales that will be discussed in today's video, Gratton was actually pretty talented. In juniors, Gratton would post some decent numbers, eventually becoming an all-star by his final season. However, he was more noticeable during his time in the WHA with the Toronto Toros, posting a career-high 3.69 goals against average and creating a respectable record at 81, 66, and 7, even playing against the Soviets in the Summit Series. However, Gratton's talent would often become overshadowed due to his crazy antics, causing him to miss out on many professional games. Once in St. Louis, his stats dropped off due to the lack of playing time. In 6 games with the Blues, he would go 2-0-2 and record a 2.49 goals against average before getting signed by New York in free agency. This was where things would get extremely out of the ordinary. That lack of playing time wasn't due to poor play or disciplinary reasoning at all. In fact, it was due to Gratton himself. Gratton would make up numerous humorous stories and lies as excuses so that he wouldn't have to play in games. Multiple members of the staff recalled Gilles claiming that he, quote, would refuse to play if the moon was in the wrong place in the sky, and would often fake illnesses in order to convince coaches not to put him in, thus making many people speculate whether Gratton actually enjoyed playing the game. Of course, there's been some quirky stories, like how about Gratton could, quote, play classical piano but never took a lesson in his life, but there's 2 particular stories that stand out among the rest. In an interview with Marv Albert, Gilles Gratton was asked about how he got the nickname The Count. Gratton, being a firm believer in reincarnation, claimed that he, quote, was a Spanish count in his past life. One of the things he loved to do was take all the Spanish commoners, line them up against a wall, and then throw rocks at them. Gratton also believed he did similar actions but in a biblical past life. This led him to believe that he was destined to be an NHL goaltender, quote, as punishment for his bad habits in past lives, referring to the rock throwing he claimed to partake in. Gratton was a strange guy, but believe it or not, his weirdness actually, in a way, helped revolutionize the sport.
I was reading a National Geographic magazine and I saw this tiger. I thought, wow, it would be neat if I could make a mask out of that. As the game was starting, I put my mask on and you could hear the crowd would go like, ooh. The referees and even the St. Louis players. And they kind of look at my mask and say, wow, man, that's really neat.
Gratton's wacky idea to incorporate a tiger onto his mask actually would help goaltenders in the future revolutionize the designs they'd sport. Now, you have masks with custom designs, graphics, and even ones that feature Lego Batman. Inspiration can come from anywhere, and Gratton's inspiration always came from himself. He was an odd figure, but an interesting one. Due to all of his funny antics, Gratton was given the nickname Grattoony the Looney, and to this day, it still hasn't fazed him. In fact, he's embraced it. Out of all the many characters the NHL has been able to produce or brought in over the years, it's undeniable that Gilles Gratton is the craziest, wackiest, and most intriguing of them all.
The Grattoony the Looney was a thing that came out in the paper. I don't mind, I don't care.